Right folks, welcome to this exciting video where you once again join us in the beautiful landscape of Scotland. Today's adventure is a cool one because it's a bit of a spontaneous adventure. We're actually joined by Highlander 87 out here, and yeah, we kind of pulled in at the House of Dun because we came to look at the ice house, but we just had an idea. We're going to walk the opposite way and see what history lies in the land, folks. So let's get into action. So check out this path, folks. This is why we decided to come down here. There's actually a waterway quite far up here, like a wee loch, and we knew that was there, but like we're not sure how far this path goes or if we'll even be able to get there. But this is kind of near the House of Dun area in Angus, Scotland, and this is a path that we've never been down before on the channel. Me and Highlander walked down here a short distance years ago, and I think we only went as far as this quarry here on the right. And like, it's mad to think, like, there's paths we've never been on, and we just love exploring history, finding cool things that's just kind of hidden away in these remote little lands. There's not even roads go some of these directions, it's only footpaths. It's so cool to be in the exploring scene here in Scotland, folks. There's always just so much to see. And yeah, look, that's been quarried out. It's like a big hollow going away around into the land. Anyway, I'll update you once we find some cool action on this adventure. So we've come up this mystical forest a slight bit, folks, and me and Highlander's got a knack of walking straight to the history. And look what we've found here. It's similar to what we saw at Aelith when they had a head of water controlled by like a bit of a dam. This has all been constructed, and look, it's had a wee sluice mechanism here which would have been controllable to let a certain amount of water through. And I'd be careful here in case it's pretty deep and stodgy. Look, it's built right to the bedrock. And this was often for a mill, maybe in this case a farm mill. There was a big water wheel down at the Mains of Dun, the farm down the road, and this could all be related. But there's also a lower pond down next to the Mains of Dun that I have documented before. Oh look, there's been something there, see it? Oh my goodness, I'm going to test the strength of this. I do have the new boots on for this one, folks, so let's see. Seems pretty solid here. There's some kind of, oh look, there's been pipes and things here. I don't know how easy, this side here is hell, but look, we can actually see, look, there's been another sluice here, but look there, there's like a metal door. That could be a deep hole, see it? Yeah. That's all constructed. And then there's been pipes going all the way down. We actually saw evidence of the pipes. I would love to have a look in that metal door. I don't know, it's quite overgrown. I think I might be better going round the edge. Go up. Check this out, folks. I'll show you the real list of abandoned places on this channel, and this is probably like a water settlement tank or whatever, and you can see it here. It's got the sections, maybe so the sediment sunk down. There's a couple of these, and it's pipes from what we just saw with that dam, and there's also been pipes leading all the way down the top of the like river area here, and that's been going down to probably like a mill, sometimes even a turbine. Water wheels and turbines, but often this could have even been a fresh water source or supply. Here's a section of that pipe, and we've seen evidence of this flowing away further down, but look, there's also this thicker pipe, which is here, which looks 1800s and stuff. They used pipe that looked like this. Oh look here, oh my goodness gracious me. Here, listen, hello, here, this is so scary. I need to shine my torch. This is the kind of real adventures we promise you, folks. We've just literally found this. Whoa, look, that's the proper water tank. Look how big it is. Wow. See, if you fell into that, you'd be a goner. Wow. Hello. See that, folks? That's the kind of real history that we bring you. And like, that is just incredible. So back in the day, they would have had a few things they used water for. Fresh drinking water. Sometimes a water wheel to power like a farm or a mill. And the third thing was often a turbine generator for generating electricity. And that's the reason that they have things like this. Some of this could have been the fresh drinking water for the lower farms, or maybe even the House of Dun. Check this out here as well, there's some old brickwork. Look, it still looks like it's in its original position. And in a forest like this, there could be deep holes below your feet. And that proves it when you see stuff like that. That is crazy to see and to document. So that's what that first section will be. It'll be like a sediment pit where the heavy stuff sinks and then the pure fresh water will flow into this tank, and then from there that'll be piped down to the farms and the houses. Let's head on further upstream on this river, folks, and see what other historical nuggets we can find. We've seen so much already, it's so cool and so much fun. Today, sometimes when I click record, the camera keeps not recording, and I look at it and it's no recording, and I don't know what's wrong with it. So I'm just trying to keep an eye. I hope all the clips that I've tried to record so far are saved, so you can see the true history of this. So Dunn's Dish is actually a bit of a loch, or like a bit of a pond, and it's up in those trees at the far side, but we tried to go down the path and it's so overgrown, and I actually noticed a tick on my leg, so we've turned around and we're heading round the forest we saw the Waterworks in a wee while ago. We're at the same forest but the opposite side of it, and we're just heading round in a wee circuit because we're keeping our eyes peeled for more history. Whoa, there's a wasp flying round my head, folks. Bear action. There's so many creatures at this time of year, folks, it's just crazy. You stand still in nature for 5 minutes and stuff's just crawling all over you. Wasps are trying to go down your neck, ticks are trying to go up your leg. But we're out here searching for history nonetheless, folks. You just know how these adventures go. And already we've found some cool stuff that we didn't even know existed. And I think it would have been related to Dunn's Dish. And that was why we did try and push up there. But sometimes nature's the limiting factor with our adventures. But there's still plenty to see, folks. So let's get into more action. So check it out, folks, we're actually around the forest and back down the path, a little bit lower than the Waterworks that we first noticed. And look at this, you can see the pipe coming down here, and that'll be from that water tank that we went to the door of, and I was like, oi, shouting inside it. That's literally where that water would have been coming down, and then probably to a farm or a house, maybe even House of Dun at a certain time. They would have had a fresh water supply way up in these lands with the natural fresh waters here of the burn. Anyway, I'm not sure, we're just about at the bottom of this path where I parked, so I'm not sure if we're away to punch to a second location in this video or head a wee bit further down into the lands of Dun, but who knows, folks, 2 seconds from now you'll know the answer. Check it out, folks, we're now in the next incredible location on this video, and this is an area, we've now come up Glen Esk, and this is actually a piece of grazing land and kind of field lands along by the river North Esk, and we've come down here. It's kind of an area that we've never explored. We've never been to this area before on the channel, so we've come down for a wee explore, and we're just basically having a look to see if there's an area we can have a chill out at, and we love a wee river adventure because of those like ticks and stuff in the lower lands of Angus and the long grass. That's how we kind of got out of that location and came up here, because I was just thinking, where can we go? And I love going to places that I've never been before on the videos, and little spots like this, it's just paradise with the sunshine coming down through these trees. There is storms forecast this afternoon, but we're just out and it looks good so far, like as far as the weather goes. So yeah, who even knows what we're away to get into, folks. Check this out, folks, it's the realest of adventures. This tree here is like fallen over and been washed. The river's really deep, and look, there's even a gate here, and we're punching down river a little bit because I think we're going to see if we can get to these stones and stuff at the corner. What a mad adventure. Look, the water's been up here recently by the looks of it. We have had some storms the last week and I think that's why it looks this way. Check this piece of the glen here, it's just magical. The sun's shining through the trees, everything's so green, and at this time of year there's loads of fungus kicking about. Some of that, it's the bolete type mushrooms. And, wow, yeah, look, there's been a hare, or maybe that's even been a sheep sitting there. What a land. And maybe we can chill out on some of these rocks, watch the river flow by for a while. I have done a video recently which was like underwater river South Esk. If you want to see what's underneath the water in these wild glens, you can see that on this channel as well as the above the water adventures like today. Super cool. I love places like this when the trees is green. Another few months it'll be barren and bleak. Highlander 87's with us today on this adventure, folks, and he's out in the centre of the river right now on that rock. It's quite precarious. It's a precarious spot. Sometimes when you stand on these rocks they can move, so you have to just have your wits about you. Did you go on this stone here? Oh, that's quite a big rock.
Stand on that, you have to just look at
Oh, that ain't moved. real adventures. Whoa, see when the river's flowing past? Like that does make you almost dizzy. It might not even come out on the video. Whoa. River South Esk flowing all around. And this is so cool. There's actually a cool area here. We could probably find a spot to chill out. There could even be history or whatever hidden in these lands that we've never seen, because there's little corners of each glen. Obviously you can't see it when you're on the main road. Sometimes not until you come down here poke about, you start noticing things. Yeah, what a madness. And obviously some of these stones could move when you stand on them. That's how it's dangerous. That's probably like a good few feet deep there. You would float away with the current until you got your wits about you. Wow, what route is this, folks? We're just hop, skipping and jumping over these stones in the River North Esk. Whoa! It's a waterfall adventure. Even these big stones could potentially move. Yes, this is epic. I love seeing the way the water flows, and it's quite yellow and brown because of the peat. In storms in Scotland, the water runs off these wild hills, and the peat within the land causes that yellow effect within the water. And that's why you see it here in places like that. The river takes on that colour. It looks a bit like Guinness, especially when it's bubbling and churning. Anyway, on to the next cool thing on this adventure, folks. Check it out, folks. The rain has now come on in this wild glen of Glen Esk that you just saw us in the last clip. We're now in the village of Tarfside, which is a small village in the glen of Glen Esk. And we've used this next part of the video here to document a war memorial that I've never documented before. Over the years, as I cross through these lands and have adventures in them, I like to stop by the old war memorials in each section of the land and remember the gentlemen from each parish that sadly lost their lives in World War II and many times in the Great War. I do apologise for water on the lens. The rain's on, like I say. Yeah, look at this. It was the Great War, this one here. 1914 to 1918. Let's have a look at the names and remember the gentlemen here. Each of the Scottish parishes made put these memorials up at the end of the war to remember the people, and often they've got the names from the World War II time period as well. And it is sad to see so many people and so many families, you have to think, from each area were affected at this time. And that's why I like to come and remember it as we pass through the lands. And I've been meaning to stop at this one for a long time, and today I thought it's a cool little section for the video. It's always sad when you see people with the same name, probably like brothers or whatever, that were both sent away. And you have to think the families back home getting the sad news. 2 people had perished, or like both their children potentially perished. It must have been such a horrific time and a sad time as well. And you have to think about all that that's going on in the lands here that we explore. It's not all just fun and games and beautiful scenery. Yeah, what a madness, folks. It's the Glen Esk Tarfside War Memorial, and it's one that we hadn't documented before. And what a cool place to end this video. We've seen a lot. We started off with that history when we actually documented the Waterworks and stuff, and then tried to make it to the Dunn's Dish, which is like that Angus lowlands area, and then we saw the ticks and the beasts, and we thought we'll go to a secondary location. We've come to Glen Esk, and it's been a fun wee adventure chilling out down in the sunshine by the river. And then when this storm came on, we've moved on. But I'm going to end this one here, folks. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye from me, goodbye from Highlander 87, and we'll catch you soon for the next one, wherever we end up going.